Alright, at the beginning of your greenhouse kit, you should be looking at the 4 corners we set for you. And all I want you to do is take your string and go to the top hole and then go from corner to corner. Clench it tight, pull a little bit, quite a bit actually. Wrap it right on that first hole a couple times. Same thing on all of them. Pull good and tight. Alright. If you don't know how to do this, watch what I do. Twisting. Put it over the top. Pull and cinch it. Come up tight. Wrap around a couple times. Do one more twist here and pull. That'll keep it tight. Get over there. And that's it. You can see what he did. He put his tape, just the back side of that tape, put a screwdriver in it, did it on both sides. No, we don't have to set the center one. I'll probably do it since I'm videoing it though. We're just gonna say it, you know. We won't shoot it, but okay, this kit is a 40-foot wide or long. So what we want to do, we bring our holes pointed parallel. We want to set it right on 20 feet, pull a little bit just to make sure it's good and tight. Check for plumb this way. And plumb it this way. You gotta check each time, make sure. It should just be touching that line, but you always gotta make sure this thing's plumb. Okay. If it's not a rock, it's a root. Let's see if we can get a good whack on it, maybe bust through. It's going.
Shelf down there.
Oh, it's still moving. We're held onto a rock now. Ain't going anymore. Okay, let's demonstrate on this.
Edit.
You have rock, I don't know what to do. Just Leave it up.
Well, it might not be a bad idea to show reset the set screw, but
Okay, we can do that.
pick a side that doesn't have rock to start with, but if you do have a rock,
Do that video in Robbinsville. If you live in Robbinsville, this is how you do the kit. Alright, so let me do this again. Alright, so this kit is 40 foot wide. So we come to the center of one side, put it on 20, the center of the pipe, long, cut. Alright, this kit is 40 foot long, so come to the center of one side and measure out to the 20 feet. Put your pipe right in the center of it. You want to plumb to the line first. It's good. And then plumb this way. Good. At this point, make sure your holes are parallel. Okay, in instances like this, when you hit a solid rock, try to punch through first. Oh yeah. Oh no. That's a rock man down there. I don't know if we're going to go through that. Okay, we'll have to reset the set screw on this one. That's as deep as we're going to go. It's too deep to dig out. So we can't go any further. So that's going to have to stay. If it's too high up and you can't dig it out, if it's a big rock, you're going to have to concrete around it. I'll have my marker. Let's see, my tape. To reset your set screw, measure down 4.5 inches from the line. Quarter-inch nut driver backs out the set screw. Reset it on that mark you made. Pull from the direction you came from. Oh, shoot. One loop around, and you would bring it down to that first hole normally, but for this case we're going to bring it down to our mark that we made at the string. That'll keep the rest of them even. And start from one side. Good. 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 Get down eye level with the string. Whoa. And you want to center it on that hole with them still parallel, and continue to do it until you have all the drive pipe set. Okay, now that you've got them all driven in to the depth they need to be. Did you reset that one set screw? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and pull your string off. Alright, what you'll want to do is these uprights are already pre-drilled. So you want to go through, or have someone go through and set them. Turn them perpendicular to your line, the holes that are already pre-drilled. Make sure they set down on the set screw. Whoops. Hey Don, these two right here, leave them out. I'll restring this in a second after I'm done with showing this video. There you go. That's your screw. Let me see one of the screws. Okay, after you get them all turned in, make sure that they're turned outwards. This step takes number 14 hex head, 1 inch or 3/4, whichever ones you get. And what you'll want to do is, as you hold them straight, on the gable ends you only want to put 2 on the inside. And all the interior ones, you have put 1 in every hole of the ground pipe. Continue on till you got them all tightened up. Alright, what we're doing here is determine where you want your band board to sit on the ground. And you want to check both sides. And then measure from the top of the post down to that mark. 58 5/8. And then transfer that line to all of these from the top down. And that will be the top of your band board. Okay, the next step that we do is we pull out the 5/4 board that you're going to need. We'll need 3 in a piece for each side. So we've got 6 in a piece. And you'll need 1 extra, or however many extras you need for scabs. These are all 12 footers. Determine how many scabs you need and mark them out. 16 inches a piece. this stage, we're going to go ahead and cut our scabs out. What I like to do here is make sure that the crown of these boards are all facing upwards. And what I mean by crown is this cup here is going this way. So we want to point all those in the upward. Some that are kind of in between, just look at the natural curve and turn it that way, upward. Okay. Your scab boards, and these you want downwards. Turn them all down. Okay, what I like to do to make this easy is using the 1 5/8 screws. I take a hammer and I tap them in. There will be 5 screws in each board. Continue until you have the screws set in each one of these boards. Alright fellas, on this next step, what we got to do is we have to determine how our first board is going to cut. So typically on the 72-foot kit length, 30 by 72, or anything that's 72, 12 by, doesn't matter how wide it is, it's the length. So on the 72 we start with a 6 foot and a 6 foot, so I cut this directly in half. The 40 works out the same way because we're going to lose 2 foot one way or another, and we'll just make more scabs out of them, out of the cutoffs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down. You don't have to be exactly at 6 foot because these boards are not exactly 6 foot, as you can see, but that's not important. The important thing is that these breaks happen in the center between 2 posts. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this off. And these are our starter boards. Get the bit that you need to run the screws, making sure that they are cupped upwards. Split the difference on the scab board and flush them up on its sides, and you want to run the screws in. Now, we know that we need 2 of these and that starter, and we'll cut the 4th board down. Come here. Okay. I like to put these as far from the bench. I'll start at the far side, away from where I'm cutting. Cautious not to drop your screws in the dirt. All right, to prepare for this next process of putting the band boards on, we're going to need the 2-inch self-tapping hex head screws. These are 5/16 head, so you'll need a drill with a 5/16 bit. And we prefer to use a drill for each thing, but if you're not using a drill for each, then you can just carry the bits with you. This is a 1/4 inch drill bit that should be in your kit. And there it is. We'll need that drill to put the scabs together. Okay. We want to start by holding this on the mark that was made and flush to the outside. We want to pre-drill the holes. Do not try to just run a screw in, it'll bust. Get it lined up. Up with it. There. Now I'm going to hold this on the mark while he attaches the scab. He'll go down there so that he can pivot the board. Down a little bit. Down. Right there. Up, down a little bit, right there. Down a little bit, right there. Down. Good. Now what we're going to do is pull a measurement for our finish up. Have them hold it at the top of the board. Come to your mark. I cut it back just a little bit to the even number. I got 118. It's always better for it to be sticking in instead of, or being a little bit in than it is sticking out. That scrap I'll use to make two scabs out of. Make sure to do one side at a time. They don't necessarily match up. Up. That's it for this side. Repeat the process on the other. Okay, this next step, this is how we lay it out. Finding a good flat spot, and you'll want to put boards down so that you can, every time you put one together, they'll go right back in the same spot. First thing we do, get your purling clamps and have a partner hold it upright like this for you. Mash it down. He holds that. And I'll put a screw in this side. We'll bend it backwards and set it off to the side. In case I failed to mention, I'm using these small self-tapping 1/4 inch hex head screws. So my battery's gonna go dead. Oops, got a little ahead of myself there. Next step we do is we turn all these pipes, make sure you got an even number on both sides. And if you look on the inside of the pipe, there's a joint where the pipe is welded. You want to turn all those facing downward this way. And this works for the 72-foot kit, or the 30-foot wide and the 24-foot wide. Go ahead and pull your measurement. We've already marked these, but 73. Measure each one of them at 73, which we've already done. Where you made your mark. Screw another one pointing upwards, bend it back, and do that with all of these. As you can see, he put bracer bands on every other one. That's where our collar ties are going to go. The next thing we want to do is we want to roll these all this way as far as they'll go, downwards the way that they get screwed together. And this measurement, which is the same on a 72 kit or a 30 wide or a 24 wide, is 60.5. And you just want to make a mark at 60.5. It's only necessary to mark the ones with bracer bands. However, we typically just do them both.
I got them laid on the table. Good ones. I think I got enough laying out.
Make sure you mark that one as well. Need the purling clamps for it. Need what?
2 on that end, on the end.
It'll be 1, and then the side with the door has 2. Starting what? Starting what?
But,
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter whichever one you want to do first. This one to get 1. Yeah, I'd say that we can start back there. What you'll want to do when you're putting these together is make sure that they hit that set screw, and make sure that your purling clamp is straight down when it stood up. Okay, good. Now these screws on your gable ends must be on the inside. So I'm going to put them down on this one.
clamp.
Well, I don't have to go in from down there, Don. Well, we might be able to do that. Slide over that one. Oh yes. Okay. Okay. You on your mark, Devin? I think he's already marked them.
Yeah, we're gonna mark it. Gotta make a mark. Maybe come down, down and hold.
Okay.
Measure.
I'm good and tight. What we'll do is we'll measure across the bottom the width we're looking for. In this case, 24 feet. That's 24 feet. So we take a marker and we scribe the base and the top where they lie. And we drive these stakes down just to keep them from moving on us. This next step, we use 3 guys, 3 drills, the 3/8 nut driver, and the 1 inch or 3/4 inch number 14 self-tapping hex heads. Shoot. Yep. Cut. We put these. Don't know what I was thinking, you know. Yeah, they have to because of we're on this side, so I'll make that correction. You've already done that. But not here. Ready? Good. Alright, let's make sure that's good. That's good. Okay, correction. On your first gable end, make sure that the screws are upwards on all the fittings. And make sure that you're on your marks. Yeah, I'll show it in just a second. Okay, what we'll do is we'll lift this up and let him put tape around that joint. Keep it when we do the plastic, we don't want it to get cut on those edges. We also put tape on the top bracer band to keep it from sliding down and getting in our way. Don, you want to put the tape on that bracer band? Piece too. We're going to want to stand this with the screws that we just put in facing inwards. Make sure they hit that set screw. Take a step back. Make sure it's straight up and down. If it's twisted or out of frame or something, you need to adjust your boards and get this one right. Once it's right, then you can move on. Is it seated pretty good, Devin?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Making sure those purling clamps are facing downwards, go ahead and screw this one down. Every other one gets a collar tie, which is why we made this mark here. You'll be using your bracer bands and the nuts and bolts that came with it.
Basically, just turned up the hole.
Yeah, okay. Make sure that these holes are offset on these collar ties. Make sure that the hole is the shorter distance from the hole to the edge is upwards, or it won't fit. You on your line? I'm on my lines. Double check that measurement each time. Let's drill here. We roll the rafter and set the screws on this side. Looking at the purling clamp at the ridge determines which side. They all want to, you want them to all face the same direction. Making sure they sit down. And you continue onward. Alright guys, this is the same process as we did on the skirt or the band board, but we're on the skirt board. We're going to do something a little bit differently. All these are turned with the cup up. All these are set, cup down with the screws set in them. I need one more, but we'll have a cutoff on one end and I can make up the difference. But the difference that I make here is we don't want a sharp edge at the top where the plastic wraps around. So we're going to bevel that edge, and what I do is I set it on a 45, and you want to slide this up to where it takes off about, you can go about halfway or a little less or even a little more, it doesn't really matter. So in the end cross, get this one cut. So in the end product, what you'll be looking at is this beveled edge. So when the plastic goes around, it doesn't, nothing rubs on this. So at this point, all I'm going to do is put all my boards on and prepare to mount these up. All right, make sure after you put these rafters up, go ahead and tape off these joints as well. We don't want the plastic to drag across any rough edges, any cut edges. So. Also, go ahead and screw off all the rafters to the uprights. both sides. Same thing on the gable ends, only do the inside, not the outside. All right, in this next process, go ahead and get your 3.5 inch carriage bolts, some 1/4 inch lock nuts, and as far as your drills go, is you'll need your 1/4 inch drill bit, a 7/16 nut driver, and the star bit. You dropped your star bit for the putting the scabs together, and you'll also need the bit for these to be able to put on your wind bracing. We just flush this up, the bevel on the outside, and hold it up there right at the bottom of the coupling there. What we do is do one at a time. Drive them in to set them. And we'll tighten that up. You want to do that? What he's doing is he's checking to see if that's going to, if you're going to be able to hit that one on the top bolt, or if he has to move it to the other one. Down. Now if this is slightly protruding out, which it is, take your hammer, flatten it out so it doesn't hit the plastic. I'll pull out my trusty torpedo level. Push it to me, Don. Oh. I'm good? And with a number 14 self-tapping hex head, he's screwed that into the bottom of the other ground pipe. Now for each one of these, you want this to the bottom of the side piece there, and you want to plumb up the post with your torpedo level. Okay. Put one hole in, set your screw so it doesn't move. Drop it down, Don. Down. Down, Don. Come on down. There you go. Right there is good.
They are laughing at us.
They see your truck. Okay, up, Don. Come on up there, Don.
Hand me your tape measure. Did not do it well down. Putting them in, trying to get them so they wouldn't hit. Take this front one, angle them.
Yes, it feels solid now. Good. You can let go down. It's good. Down a little bit, Don. It's good. Good. Up, Don. Up. It's good.
You gotta go up, back up, Don.
Yeah. I tell him, say, no, his name is Don. That's not what we're doing. We're not doing an up Don.
Yeah, they'll be like looking at us.
What the heck is an up Don? A down Don and up Don. You know.
He's this guy named Corey.
You know. Come on, these are construction terms.
There were 3 of them. There's some kind of Corey that screwed everything up.
Ah, Corey! Don't core it up. All right, Don. True. Okay, same thing as the other side. Let that in, Don, and let it out. You're pushing it inside the rafters. You might need to push this one here in so I can get a measurement. All right, putting your torpedo on the end. Get it plumb. Take your measurement. Okay. Once again, I've already beveled this edge. Okay. Up, Don? I'm gonna laugh every time I say it.
You need to perform your up, Don.
Make sure you upped on this part. Don't step on the plan.
I don't think it's for you.
Right on. Up, Don? Up. Down a little bit, Don? Down, Don. Okay. Good. It's great. Sweet, sweet.
Got it down, Don, and they was a little easier to perform.
I need to be about 3 inches taller.
That's what she
I
said.
have to get on my tiptoes when the heart rate board is.
Down, Don? All right.
Up.
Up, Don?
10. Okay.
Up.
Push it.
Push it. Push it. Flip it. Pop it. Pop it.
Pop it.
Everyone needs a bop again. What happened there, dog? Might have 3.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do it. Wasn't me. That was Corey.
Those little spinner things that kids are playing with.
Oh yeah, fidget spinners.
We was at the dollar store yesterday.
Kids
They
just
had them on the counter. This big old guy, he's probably what, 25, David? He had 2 gallons of milk,
yeah,
and
just fidget spinning away, honey.
he grabbed one of them. He said, "Man, I love these things." And 25 years old.
Yeah, sure, why not? Go ahead and pull down on that, Don. That's a down, Don. Down, Don. Okay. Get that plumb. It's good.
Yeah, I can see 6, 7, 8-year-olds playing with them things.
Yeah, my kids like them pretty. Well, you know what it is they put it on television, on commercials, because it's some great, thing like Simon or something. And kids go wild over them. They're all over the children's YouTube videos when they do the intermissions with the videos and stuff. They're those fidget spinners. I guess it's for those those kids that have that sensory deprivation disorder. Probably a product they were trying to sell to the
It's these days.
Well, and all of them. Okay, the next step we do is we put this wiggle wire channel on, and I go through with my square and I mark it 2 inches, put it in a 2-inch slot, and just walk her down. Whoop. Voila. We attach the wiggle channel with the 5/16 headed 3/4 inch self-tapping screw. You see, we leave it back a little bit. We don't like the plastic or any sharp edges off the side. As your partner holds it, he moves it to the next line. And then we go every 2 foot, or 1 in the center, 1 at every rafter. We prefer that you put 2 at the ends. Shouldn't be there. You want to just measure this one, Don? go 45 1/4. Cut your final piece down to length. We like putting the cut edge here, leave the factory edge on the end. And repeat on the other side. Okay. Okay, on this next step, take your 3 or however many pipes you have. You want 3 runs going all the way down. And what he's doing is he's got them all flushed here. He's going to mark every 4 foot, and that will be the center for the purlings. When he gets to the end, he will cut these off flush to the outside, which is 40 feet. We'll cut those at 40 feet, and we'll move on to that part. Alright, so what we're going to do is go ahead and split these apart after you get them marked and cut down. Those will go over there. Yeah. Alright, normally we use a truck to back in here, and I'll stand on a ladder in the back of the truck and he'll just back up as I tighten these off, but in this tight spot we're not able to do that. So what you want to do is put this purling up. There it is, son. And set it up in the purling clamps. There we go. See, what he did is closed off 2 of the purling clamps to hold it up. Tighten it off. Now we don't want this to stick out because the plastic will get cut. So we want to come in a little bit, make sure that the lines you marked are visible at the bottom. Right in the center of the purling clamp, there's a hole. Now on the gable ends, we put 2 in just to make it more secure. And through that hole, you can adjust it to your mark. I failed to mention, we're using a 1/4 inch nut driver. The 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch hex head self-tapping screws. Okay, you want to join your pipe. Turn it to where you can see your marks. Okay. And your partner will once again push the purling clamps up to hold the pipe for you. I put 2 screws in the joints. Little note, make sure you wear safety glasses because the hot metal will fall down and get in your eyes. On your final rafter, you want to make sure that the pipe is just inside. Attach it, and once again put another set screw in to protect it. Do the same process for your 2 side gable, for your 2 side purlings.